Let me just say, I've been saying this since I started in finance, when I was a teenager. I do not understand why the Middle East has pegged its currency to the US dollar. Well, I know why they did it, but that peg has got to go. And it will. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that in my lifetime, and maybe sooner than what I was expecting, that they will depeg. You have to have some level of autonomy over your own currency. And that also applies to the euro. All right? It was a cute idea. It was never going to work. And the euro must fail.
Let's change tack a little bit.
There's two different things. I want to talk about money leaving New York potentially. There is a proposal that a Dallas-based Texas stock exchange might come in 2026. It's been filing under the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission later this year. 24 investors, $120 million in capital, and it's expected in exchange to file with the SEC, according to CNN. And this is quite a huge move. You're seeing money potentially moving from a blue state to a red state in the United States. And another big development this week is Saudi Arabia has not extended its contract with the United States to trade with the petrodollar. So that's a really, really interesting state in terms of the BRICS nations and where they're going with that one. Of course, all US dollars, all oil deals were done in US dollars previously. And now we're seeing nations doing these deals in their local currencies or whatever they decide suits them, with them wanting to create their own economies.
So question for you, Derek. How soon till Saudi Arabia needs a big dose of freedom?
The people will do that for them anyway. And the new prince, to be fair, the new prince is actually much more liberal than the sort of brutal Wahhabism of the past. But let me just say, I've been saying this since I started in finance, when I was a teenager. I do not understand why the Middle East has pegged its currency to the US dollar. Well, I know why they did it, but that peg has got to go. And it will. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that in my lifetime, and maybe sooner than what I was expecting, that they will depeg. You have to have some level of autonomy over your own currency. And that also applies to the euro. All right? It was a cute idea. It was never going to work. And the euro must fail. It's just not sustainable to those poorer countries in Europe that have been absolutely screwed over by it. Same thing if you're in the Middle East. How would you feel if your national resource is denominated in another currency and that country has got enormous levels of debt and inflates its currency, thereby reducing the value of your asset, and you've got no control over it? No way. I wouldn't put up with that. Would you guys want to put up with that? No, of course not. So I think the Middle East is absolutely correct in depegging. I think it's absolutely correct not to renew the petrodollar contracts. And hey, let's get ready for one hell of a ride. And the United States, it's a magnificent country, and I think it will survive and it will do very well. But maybe they'll be a little bit more responsible and stop taking advantage of the rest of the world by having ridiculously bad and economic decisions that they make, which affects the rest of us.
I think the US government, politicians have been pegging a lot of countries for a long time. Let's be absolutely frank. I
love your terminology there.
It's been said for a reason. I think the US dollar is going to have a massive collapse. I think that a lot of people are talking about this at the moment, but certainly I'm no great expert, but that seems to be the general sort of thought. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
America's just got too much money out there at the moment. Not just because how do I put it? With money transfers, because they've been using the US dollar for so long, a lot of countries have been borrowing American money to be able to do whatever they need to do. So yeah, America has a lot of debt, but they've also got a lot of money out there. So I think America will be losing their status as the reserve currency of the world. I think it will happen, but I don't think it's going to be within the next 10 years.
I think it's interesting.
Can I just make a point to people? I don't want to sound too alarmist or anything like that. I just want to make a point to people who were talking about cash before. If you're if you're worried or you're concerned that major currencies like the US dollar are going to collapse, holding cash, just something to consider, may not actually be a great solution. I think you need to actually have some other assets behind you in that event. And I just want to point out to people, because a lot of people would know this, that India, I think it was about 10 years ago, India decided to demonetize their cash. So, and don't quote me on the exact figures, somebody can fact check this, but from memory, it was something like if you had notes that were worth more than, say, $20, those notes were not going to be worth anything. You couldn't cash them at the bank. You couldn't spend them. They were worth nothing past a certain point in time. And the way the government was able to get around with that is they said, well, we don't want money laundering and we don't want all this illicit untaxed money, blah, blah, blah. So, look, I don't know. People say we should buy gold. Well, we know the United States at one point made it illegal for you to hold gold. You actually had to hand it back in. So I'm not going to tell you what the solution is because I don't know. But what I will say is please be vigilant, because we are undoubtedly going to go into a time when there's going to be massive instability. And we saw during COVID just how much power the government can wield over us. So I'm not sure what the solution is, but don't let yourself get into a false sense of security that you've got 10 grand or 100 grand or something under your bed in $100 notes, because that may not actually work. The government could just come in and change this.
Well, it's interesting can I just say this, that the central bank reserves from developing companies, they are dropping their supply of euros. It's declined by 1% in their central banks there. Right. And of course, we've seen the central banks, they're gobbling up gold. They have been doing for a number of years. But that's interesting. Now that we've been talking about the euro currency, it's starting to lose its popularity a little bit as well.
No doubt about
so just what Shaq was saying, it happened on the 8th of November 2016, and 86% of the currency in India was taken out of circulation.
Wow. Okay.
Did you look that up, or do you actually know that off the top of your head?
I knew it off the top of my head because I was looking at it on the screen. the links for the people, if they want to read about it for themselves, I've put it into the chat as well.
Oh, fantastic, mate.
Yeah.
What's interesting, going back to the stock exchange and perhaps moving to, we talk about money moving out of New York. There's an actual stat on it. From 2020 to 2023, New York lost nearly $1 trillion in asset management companies as 158 companies moved out of the state. So I'd like to get your opinion on this, Shaq. What are your thoughts in terms of having a Texas stock exchange?
Oh, Taz, I am smart. I'm smart.
Before Shaq answers that question, or the Shade Monkey says anything else that could incriminate us, no, before we go there, I just want to actually thank all the people who are interacting there. I can see it there in the distance. It's fantastic. This is what we're about here at Edge. We want interaction. We want people to be talking, and we want these questions. And I love the fact that some of these questions and answers are actually between each of you. We're all about conversation and interaction. As I say, discourse is the absolute way that we move the world forward in a positive way. So thank you so much for your interaction, guys.
Unless you're a police officer or a poly, you can go. We don't need to hear from you. You can go. Right. Did you guys? I think I sent you this thing. So I'm looking at my LinkedIn profile, and after we did the Aboriginal Cultural Heritage Law stuff, my LinkedIn was full of like government, lobbyists and government people that were looking me up. I'm like, there's nothing on my LinkedIn. There's literally nothing there. I don't have a resume there. It doesn't say where I work. Nothing's there, guys. You're not going to find me.
You know why? Who was front and center underneath Jacinta armpit in all the photos?
Oh dear. Well,
yeah,
look, I think.
So I'm getting phone calls from people at Dalkeith saying, "Hey, like I saw you on TV at the No Campaign rally." I'm like, "Yeah," because all the major media companies put that up there, right? But they didn't do anything. I went to some Yes campaign rallies as well because I didn't know. Like, okay, what's this voice thing? I want to go and find out the information. I want to know, right? No footage of me on the Yes campaign stuff, but on the No campaign. Oh, look at that black guy. Like, what's he doing? Yeah. By the way, I do want to, before I answer that question, I do want to just make the statement that I am actually not black anymore. And you guys may not know this, but I looked at the US Census last time I was over there, and I've now seen that they've changed the rules over here as well. So if you are Indian, but you were born here, you're white. So my mother is not white, but I am, which is incredible. At 40 years of age, I've finally become white. I don't know what to do with myself now.
Actually, before we need to wrap the show up, but I do want to throw this forward. You did just mention your 40th birthday that's just happened. I've had this here for you since your 40th birthday, and I haven't seen you, which has been bit of
You came to my
annoyance.
40th birthday. What do you mean you didn't see me?
No, because the gift didn't arrive till after, because I'm
Right.
very well organized these things. So look, obviously we love our t-shirts here. We've got our merch with Edge Radio Australia, and on the back of all the shirts for those who can actually read it from there. Okay, what does it say, guys?
Freedom of speech matters at
Freedom
Radio
of speech.
Australia.
Absolutely.
Now I'm seeing a heart on the other side. Come on, spin it.
Now,
I want to
spin
see what it
around.
is.
This is a special birthday present, 40th gift. There we go. He's got his own shirt. Now, Travis, you want to bring that forward?
You have to hold it because I'm on my phone. My laptop died. Perfect. I love it.
No, mate, that's been waiting for you since your birthday. But next time you're in town, you can get that one, and away we go. But I just wanted you to know that was there. We're going to wrap the show up. We've only got 3 minutes to go, so I'm going to throw back to Derek, because Derek, we could talk about some finance and politics. 3 minutes, let's do it.
Times are changing. Times are changing. Exciting times.
They
And I think that's the whole thing is dig deeper for the information, dig deeper on ideas, dig deeper as to where you want to go, because you're not getting it from other news outlets at the moment as to what's actually going on. Look at what the big banks are doing, look at what the governments are doing, and ask why is this happening?
Yep. And I'll thoughts.
Can I just say, you asked the question about the Texas Stock Exchange. What I will say is, I think the more competition, the better. What we need to do is to stop allowing big corporations to dominate every industry. We talk about grocery prices being high. Get government to lower the regulations so that other people can set up little grocery stores. We need to start trying to be independent of government, and the best way to do that is to have your own small business, to make your own money and do it in your own terms. Don't mistreat other people. That's why we need to have regulations so things are fair, but that's exactly what we need to be doing, and I hope there's a worldwide push for that. I'm so pleased to see that Europe has actually voted for centre-right political parties.
Yep. Yeah. Well, look what's going on with Italy. That's fantastic.
I have to quote another show on this one, Don't Punch Down, Joel Jamal.
Yep.
So I think people as a whole, if you're succeeding, instead of like trying to punch down to keep people down so you stay succeeding, we need to stop that shit. We need to start pulling each other up. We need to work as I don't want to say as a family, but just as a whole, to make sure we support each other, like especially people who got new enterprises, new businesses. Let's get them past the first 12 months, get them on their feet, get them working, and you never know, there might be some great companies and corporations that come out of it.
Well, you know what? And as you build your business, the great thing about doing it that way and not stepping on others, actually bringing them with you, is that when you build and you become big, you've got this great supporter base, and you've got people in your life that you can trust. These aren't people who've just joined when you're successful. They've been with you through the hard times, and then you can really appreciate them. And the way you look at me, Derek, you're throwing me out here, mate. You really are. Because he's looking at me with this great sincerity. I tell you right now, we've got to stop that. Come on, really. It doesn't work. But I genuinely feel that. Like, honestly, this is, grassroots is for a reason, right? But yeah, this is about dragging people up, certainly not pushing them down. Don't step on people's backs just to rise yourself. All right. Fantastic. A quick little plug, of course, while we've got 30 seconds. If you want some financial advice, I don't give any, all right? But if you want to know about the financial systems,
not advice, education.
I'm not, excuse me, I was going there, but never mind. I know a great group that does education. It's called Blu Sky Factory. How do we find you there, mate?
Go to our website, blueskyfactory.com.au. There's no E in blue. Just go to blueskyfactory.com.au.
All righty, that's the end of the show.
So they can't spell, but they're good with maths.
And with that, we're going to finish the show with Houdini. It's Edge Radio Australia.